Welcome you guys into my nice beautiful video. I see right now you guys have to understand that either way, that every single time you're growing, you have to understand you have to be developing very fast, you have to be very effective, you have to understand that every single day I'm always doing much more than I can. I'm making sure every single day that you understand that 2 hours of video every single day is something that you have to do. You have to understand every single day, focus upon doing more. But understand that when you're doing your videos, that you have nothing in front of you other than your nice beautiful camera with your nice beautiful microphone and a portable speaker to the left side, so that you can hear people, and so that you can also do your audio content every single day, and so that you can go and produce a course so that you can help people grow, because that's what I do. Every single day I go and help people every single day online, and when I do that every single day, I go and make sure that everybody online can find me, and I make sure to promote myself as much as I can everywhere. So I understand every single day that what's important is marketing. And when you're marketing yourself all the time, you're going to be able to understand that you have to have great audio you have to have great equilibrium and you have to have great balance and great equality to understand that you have to understand your audio has to be excellent, your video has to be excellent, your quality of audio has to be excellent. I promise you everything in your life has to be excellent and much better than yesterday if you choose to prosper in this lifetime. And now anybody who's choosing this lifetime to go and do something great every single day is somebody who can understand life. And now when you understand life, you have to understand your word I. You have to understand the word I is everything. So when you're really focusing upon, let's say, changing your life for the better, you have to understand it's really about better communicational skills, and it's better that you understand that every single day you have to have the better mindset in you. You have to understand every single day the better mindset you have in you, you will understand every single day, then you can prosper, you can be abundant, you can actually grow. Every single day you have to focus upon doing your life coaching videos, and then check what time is office works so that you can go and do your nice beautiful video beforehand. But check also to understand what time everything is around life. You have to understand everything's happening now, but check in terms of the deadlines, because people in the 9-to-5 job have a deadline that they can only be working a certain period of time in that supermarket or grocery store or wherever you're going, in terms of clothing stores or maybe printing companies. You have to understand they work 9 to 5. So make sure you understand to do a video or a live coaching video or something in terms of a video about something that you're passionate about before you have to go there. I mean, in a sense, so on the road while you're traveling, you're going to find people who are much more better than yesterday, but you're also going to find people who are worse than yesterday. And now, anybody who's worse than yesterday is also making sure that you must understand that I'm always better than yesterday. So I'm focusing upon making sure they understand my communicational skills is something that's growing all the time. I have to be growing. I have to be making sure that I'm always a smart ass. I have to be making sure I'm always something better than yesterday, but I have to be giving you ideas, and I have to be giving you on the spotlight curve in terms of a nice beautiful learning curve in the spotlight every single day, so that you understand that the spotlight is something that opens you. And then when you're somebody who wants to go in the spotlight daily, you have to understand your communicational skills is the way to go into a greater success in your life. Now, if you choose to go and do something much greater than yesterday, you're going to focus upon understanding that every single day you must lead yourself through communicational skills. So if you're looking at somebody, you're looking at how you communicate and never how they communicate. You have to understand, my biological dad swears at me. In every single second word, he swears at me. I understand? So I never try to pick up his attitude. I try to go and really communicate better to him while he's communicating worse to me. Because that's two spectrums on the side. I mean, you have to understand the side of a coin must be growing. You have to understand I'm growing, but he's dying. I mean, in a sense, so he rather judge me and he rather crucify me and put me through hell so that he can have a better life, while I rather lift him while I can have a better life. I understand? So people who are worse than yesterday want to drag you down with their words and everything. Or should now never be around them. I mean, I never have to be around my biological dad ever again, because I understand that whether he passes away or not, I promise you that what's amazing is I'm still living a greater life without him. I mean, do you understand? I never rely on anybody anymore. But you have to understand that this life is to be much more greater than yesterday. So focus on understanding that nobody's going to do your life coaching for you, and nobody's going to do your videos for you, and nobody's going to do anything for you. You have to understand, I've been producing 6 years music content. I understand? But guess what? I realized that I've only had 2 years of experience fully. I understand? But in between that 6 years, I've been doing life coaching instead. I mean, in a sense, so 4 years I went away from the life coaching in terms of the music production, and then I came back into it so that I can grow my music as well. I mean, you understand? So either way, you have to understand that 6 years is a long time to be doing music production. I mean, you understand? So that's what it is. Because I never did stop, because I came back again to go and do my passions. So when I do my passions, I never stop. I just start growing. I grow everything. Because what happens is, the more talent you have to do life coaching or acting or comedy or music production or anything that you are something in terms of have skills, in terms of you have skills about something, you have to understand, then you can give a live performance somewhere. And then you can actually build this website about you. And then you can actually go around the world traveling because you have the skills. You're a singer, you're an actor, you're an individual who can do comedy, you're somebody in some field, you understand? So if you want to be something in this field of vibration in terms of the world, you have to understand it. You have to get out of the 9-to-5 job eventually, because that 9-to-5 job in terms of what you have is unstable. I mean, you understand? And now guess what? I was like, government work is more stable than anything that's non-governmental. So anything that's non-governmental is anything that's self-employment and employee work, that's never the government's work. I mean, in a sense, so you have to understand that there's a whole bunch of lists. But let me just show you the government's work is police and fire brigade and hospitals and nurses. I mean, in a sense, and also psychiatry and psychology. I mean, the nice, beautiful ecologist, which is the philanthropist, in terms of the optometrist and physiotherapy and all this master degree stuff that you can get in the universities today is government work. I mean, in a sense, but anything that's never government work has no U12 certificate about it. I mean, in this sense, I mean, they have no HSC and they drop out in year 10, and that's non-governmental work. I mean, in a sense, so guess what? I'm doing non-governmental work here. I mean, in a sense, so guess what? You want to be in the non-governmental work section in life, because guess what? Right, that's a better road than the governmental work side. I mean, I apologize. I'm rushing now. Why do I say that? You have to understand, because entrepreneurs are people who never do the government's work. I mean, you understand? Or they do something greater than the government's work. I mean, you understand? Because anything that's government's work is in a 9-to-5. I mean, get out of the 9-to-5 work, because anything that's out of the 9-to-5 work is non-governmental work. I mean, in a sense, so guess what? Real estate is actually an entrepreneur's job. And now, guess what? The government comes in and gives you tax breaks with the real estate you have. So if you get people into your accommodation and you help them, I mean, the government will help you by giving you tax breaks. So you never have to give taxes for the real estate income that you make in terms of the cash flow. Or else you may be making $8 billion a year on real estate. So that's just your money. In a sense, so they will never take 50% of it. In a sense, so guess what? Or else that's real estate. So what you're doing here is you're helping the government, but the government here is just giving you tax breaks for what you have come to in terms of what you succumb to in your life. So realize, if you want to get real estate, you have to start off with the first aspect. You have to understand to start off with the first real estate, and then you have to go and duplicate it and duplicate it and duplicate it and triple it. And you have to understand that real estate keeps going. You understand? But the more real estate you have, the more power and control you have over everything. You understand? Because why? Because you have all the plastic money. Or else because you have all the plastic money, you can now understand that I only know the word I, and then I'm always growing. I'm branching out. Because you have plastic money, you have to understand that it's never the result to anything. Branching out, just because you have more plastic money than me, branching never means that you have control over me. I mean, understand? But it means that if you have more plastic money than me, you may be able to travel more than me. You may be able to go and make events more than me. You may be able to give $1 billion here and there more than me. I mean, understand? But Jesus says in the Bible that the woman who's the grandmother, she goes into the nice, beautiful way of saying that she's a woman, and she goes and gives her last cent into the hat to give her tax money. But guess what Jesus does? Or else Jesus never tries to take away that cent and give it back to her, because that means everybody must be giving. You understand? But what's amazing is other people gave billions of dollars to the taxpayers, but this woman only gave 1 penny, which is everything she had. I mean, understand? So Jesus says, hey, this woman here is giving far more than everybody else, because everybody else gave $1 billion, but they have another $50 trillion in their bank accounts. I mean, they just get they gave one fraction of what they have. You understand? But this woman gave everything she has. Actually, now, when you have a last penny, you have one last penny, and you give it to a little boy or girl, and you say, give yourself a drink. But that's your last penny. I mean, why don't you get yourself a drink? I mean, in a sense, why are you giving it to somebody else? I mean, in a sense, so guess what? Or is that because you give, you shall receive. But because you give everything to that child or to anybody in information or work or life, you understand why you are much more richer than the people who have all the billions of dollars but give one fraction of it. I understand? But when you give the one total fraction of what you have, which is you give everything, you're much better off than those people who give 1/10 of what they have. You understand? Now that's what the nice, beautiful Bible Jesus Christ can give you, which is stories about Moses and about everything in terms of Jesus Christ and what happened with Jesus Christ. And you have to understand that it's a book of life. So I always enjoy reading it, and I always enjoy Joel Osteen, who talks about Jesus Christ all the time. And he is also somebody who gives you that information about Jesus Christ. So understand that Jesus Christ is your Savior. So I mean that he is somebody that helps you every single day through other people, through kindness and through compassion and through making sure that you have what you deserve, because that informational Bible is what carries everything. I understand? So recently you have to understand Mark Zuckerberg just recently files a nice beautiful harassment on everybody about the nice beautiful information process. And now guess what? I realize that he never wants to spread information for everything. Or else he never wants to spread information. So you have to understand that now, because when you never want to spread information, you have to understand that means your company is going downhill. Now, if you are somebody who understands that you have to go and share information, you are excellent, because understand that those people who never want to share a video like this, I promise you, they're the ones who are Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, in a sense, so guess what? I realize that every single day you must understand that you must realize just because you have a Facebook or just because you have a social media, you have to understand that you are nothing without information. I mean, understand? So if you never want to share your information around, you never deserve this life. You understand? You only deserve this life when you want to share your story. Do you understand? If you are never worthy of your story, who else is worthy of your story? I mean, you understand? I mean, guess what? You're the only one living your story. You're the only one in your shoes right now. So what you need to do is realize that if you lag your life coaching videos, or if you lag anything in life, you shall complete it much better. You have to understand that every single day you must go and do your heart out. Every single day on the video and do something. I understand you may be making music. I understand 3-minute tracks. I understand 4-minute tracks. I understand 1 track a month. I understand 2 tracks a month. But I do 1-hour videos every single day of life coaching. I mean, understand? I do so much more than you. I mean, understand? I do 2-hour videos sometimes. I do 3-hour videos sometimes. But I make sure consistently I'm doing 1-hour videos. And now I can make a track a day. Understand? So in 24 days time, I can make 24 instrumental tracks in music production, and I have a 1-hour set. But then guess what I do? I get nice beautiful vocals and I put vocals in it. You understand? But every single day, you must understand that the more you pour into music production as a business in terms of plastic money, the more it comes back onto you. I mean, understand? So what's happening around the world with me today in terms of my attention and what I have, you have to understand I have 3 social medias, but it's so much more than having 50. You understand? Now, why is 3 much better than 50? Because I can manage 3. I mean, when you have 50 social medias, it's much more difficult to be able to go and post everything on that, because you have a family. You have to take care of your health. You have to go and groom yourself. You have to go and shower. You have to go traveling. You have to go do music production. You have to do video production. I mean, do you understand? I mean, there's so much more time in the day when you're doing just Instagram and YouTube and Mega Drive. And now you have to understand that since people are following people on social media in terms of YouTube and Instagram, I choose to go on those programs just so that I can gain followers like this, because it's a resume. And now people who have 1 billion followers online, and you go to their profile and it says 1 billion followers, I mean, they are somebody because they have 1 billion followers. Because how else are they going to gain that? I mean, there's no chance that you can gain it fakely, because people can see straight away if you are honest about what you have in terms of following. I mean, understand? Because if your content never adds up, but you have 1 billion followers, you can see it from a mile away. I mean, in a sense, so the truth always comes out. So I understand every single day that if you become anything like Mark Zuckerberg, for example, you have to understand straight away to understand what you're doing, and then understand to share information, and never try to block information from your life. Because if you try to block information, you're trying to, for example, see the nice beautiful circle of a range of radius. You see a circle shape, but you want to cut half of it so that it goes forever and so that it never becomes a circle ever again. I mean, why do you want to destroy the circle? I mean, understand? I mean, if the circle's full of information and you want to cut it in half so you can take away from people, I mean, understand? I mean, why do you want to be Mark Zuckerberg? I mean, understand? So guess what Mark Zuckerberg has to do? Or actually, he has to make sure that that circle is full of information. I mean, understand? So all he has to do is just tell the Australian government and people that he's sorry and that he will coincides to make sure that the news channels and everything in terms of journalism and all information is going back onto Facebook. I mean, understand? Because it's information product. I mean, that's a service. So why is Australian TV and all these TVs in the world famous for what they're doing? Because guess what? Or is they're providing you information service. And now that's the best service in the planet. So if you can provide people a service every single day in information and just be into people and talking to people all day long with information, you can then prosper. But then what I do every single day, personally, I'd rather just talk to myself all day long than other people. I mean, why is that? Because I'm increasing my success with myself without having to do it with other people. I mean, you understand? Because my success speaks louder than everybody's. So what I do is I try to boost my success without trying to cause attention for myself. I understand? So why do I do that? because when I do that, I'm also much greater. I'm also doing better than yesterday. Just because you have 1 billion followers more than me, never means that you're doing more than me. It never means that. Now, I have over 700 hours of live coaching videos, but Cristiano Ronaldo has 0 live coaching videos on YouTube. I mean, understand? Or he has no YouTube channel, that guy. I mean, understand? I have 700 hours of ideas to teach you, so I'm much more successful in the area of public speaking and life coaching and peak performance and everything. I understand? And you have to understand that he has 150 million followers. I'll mention now, he's much more famous, of course. But I will teach you far more than he ever will. I teach Jesus Christ, I teach life, I teach love, I teach spirituality, I teach everything, you understand? But he will teach you how to kick a soccer ball, you understand? I mean, big deal. Understand? So guess what? Or else it's one aspect of life. Understand? So what you need to realize is teaching is a big deal. You understand? Right now, every single day, focus on understanding that this world is what you make of it. But go towards people who are teaching much more, like Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres and Dr. Phil. And there's also many people who are such people who you can learn from, like Michael Jackson, Tupac, and Elvis Presley. You have to understand, these people you can also learn from. You can learn from Diana in terms of Princess Diana. You have to understand either way that every single day you're going to learn how to grow yourself throughout life, because that's what a life coach does. I recently seen this guy say that if you're a teenager or something, that you must realize that this guy is against teenagers. Or else this guy never loves teenagers for some reason. But you have to understand that he calls all teenagers that they can never be life coaches because they're just a teenager. Or else a little baby can be a life coach. I mean, understand? Or else if that little baby can experience something in life, or else that baby can teach me something. I mean, understand? Or else just because that little baby has 1 year of age, or else that baby can teach me something. You have to understand. But otherwise, you must understand this guy believes that a 1 year young baby can never teach you anything. You must understand those people are stupid. You understand? So never listen to those people who believe that teenagers or adolescents can never teach you something. Or they can always teach you something. Or approach anything, but approach anything can teach you anything. You understand? So every single day, focus on understanding that if you're against teenagers, and if you are against kids, and if you're against all that, you'll then never have a teenager in your life. You then never will have a baby in your life. I mean, in a sense, so guess what? I mean, never believe everything that's really heard. I mean, never believe my information. I mean, never believe anything other than the Bible. I understand? I mean, question everything. I promise you, that's why I'm leading you that way. I mean, understand? I mean, never take my words as the sole proprietor of your life. I mean, understand? I mean, guess what? I mean, say I need more of Danny's content so that I can really understand him every single day. Because I never just want to listen to this video. I want to listen to more videos so that I can see a greater perspective. I understand? I mean, go and look at the greater go and look at the better spectrum and perspective of everything. So when somebody's talking, I never take their word for it. I mean, just because they say that soy milk may be cancerous, I mean, I guess what? I want to find out more information before I make a decision about that. I mean, meanwhile, I still drink soy milk. I mean, I'm a vegan. I mean, just because they say that it's been said by scientists, I mean, big deal. I mean, I need more information before I make a decision. I mean, never take their word for it. Whereas if you take their word for it, you just throw out the soy milk then. And then guess what they say? Whereas then they say that those shoes will cause cancer too. I mean, then guess what you do? You throw off the shoes. You get yourself new ones. And they say your eyes as well may cause cancer. Or guess what? You may poke out your eyes too. Or they say your arm may cause your arm actually may cause cancer because a scientist says so. In a sense, so guess what? I mean, never take their word for it, please. Because this woman who says that is also drinking alcohol, but she never believes that alcohol is cancerous. I mean, she believes that soy milk is cancerous. I mean, alcohol is far worse. Understand? I mean, alcohol kills more people than soy milk. I mean, you understand? And that's what scientists say. I mean, guess what? I mean, she says the scientists believe that soy milk causes cancer. Well, what's better? I mean, is it alcohol or is it soy milk? I mean, which one do you pick? You have to understand. So either way, make sure you understand that every single day, never focus on anything other than more information. I mean, I say something, you need more information straight away. I mean, somebody else says something, you need more information before you make a decision. Understand? So get more information all the time. I mean, guess what? You have to. You have to understand the more you read, the better you are. So I love to life coach like this because I understand I'm teaching people about something. And now when I teach you something about life, I'm much better for it. I start to teach myself how to grow. But I'm enjoying my life now. Without busking, I'm enjoying my life. Understand? I'm currently in a nice beautiful hotel here in Newcastle, where it's the Oriental Hotel. You can come here to New South Wales in Sydney, Australia, where it's New South Wales. And it's 2 hours away from Sydney, but understand that Oriental Hotel and Newcastle. And now, why is this nice beautiful hotel something very great? And now, it may be 3-star on the actual reviews, but it's actually 5-star for me. I mean, why is it? Because I get privacy, probably nobody's causing me damage, probably nobody's blaming me, and probably nobody's causing me trouble. Which that's 5-star for me. And now, understand either way that there are better hotels. Understand? I mean, there's a better hotel I can get. You understand? But guess what? Or is that I get what's affordable. Understand? And now, either way, you must understand that when you come to Newcastle, you come to the Oriental Hotel because Danny Milivojevic said so. And then guess what? You just understand every single day that you'll get the best service and you'll get the best single bedroom in town. Understand? So either way, understand that no matter what, you can give yourself a clap on the back because guess what? You give yourself a pat on the back, and every single day focus upon understanding that no matter what, you always have to be giving. You always have to be giving something so that you can understand. I live day by day. I'm renting everything day by day. I'm calculating all my finances day by day. Understand? Because what's important is understanding never working for plastic money. You never work for plastic money, even if they make you to. You understand? Or if other people are making you work for plastic money, a 9-to-5 job, and they're saying you must go in a 9-to-5 job, guess what? You never have to work a 9-to-5 job. You never have to work for plastic money. Do you understand that? You never have to. You can go to a 9-to-5 job, but work 24/7 and work for something other than plastic money. Guess what? Or if you have to go to a 9-to-5 job today, and let's say you're doing something at 9-to-5, guess what you're doing then? You're doing a 24/7 job. You're never working a 9-to-5 job anymore. You never work 9-to-5. Do you understand? 9-to-5 is a limit. Understand? You never limit yourself to 9-to-5. You have to understand, 24/7 is a limit. Understand? You just always work. Understand? Make sure you understand that. Numbers limit you. Try to never have numbers in your life. Guess what? If you understand that, you're rich. If you have no numbers in your lifetime, you're the richest aspect of life. Because what makes you rich is never the numbers. Understand? Numbers never make you rich. Now, since you understand that, what is your passion? Because that is something of meaning. But numbers is never a meaning. Whereas now, I first means everything. Understand? Whereas now, if you have to understand any number in life, it's put your I first. I, everything. Roshi, that way you're going to understand how I'm so successful. And now many people never believe that I'm so successful because they may see some kid or something or a baby on Instagram in terms of my life and how I'm fashion modeling, and I have over 700 hours of videos online, and I have all this music that I make, and they may not believe, or else they may never believe that I'm successful. I realize all that I never need them to believe I'm successful. Understand? I never need them at all because I am successful. I never need the validation that I'm successful. I can see that already. So what I do every single day is I'm performing in front of a crowd. I'm performing in front of a video. I'm doing 2-hour videos. I'm doing 3-hour videos. I'm doing 6-hour videos. I'm doing 12-hour videos. I mean, why? Because I'm successful. I mean, understand? I mean, not because of you. I'm never doing it because of you. I'm doing it so I can become more successful. I mean, understand? And when I become more successful, you then can become more successful through my ideas and through my knowledge. Because first, I first, and then you. I understand? I first. I'm doing it for I first, and then I'm doing it for you. Understand? But if they say I'm doing it for you, actually they're doing it for themselves first. I mean, you understand? I'm doing it for I first, and then you, because that's how you have to do it too. Right now, if you help me, you're helping yourself. But if you be selfless, and much more selfless than yesterday, you'll focus upon understanding that you get away from alcohol, you get away from anything that's disturbing you. And now anything that's disturbing you must be the drugs, and also anything that's really the drugs is what I mean in terms of make sure you never do drugs. Understand? Because I never do drugs, so make sure you understand I was a drug addict before. And now because I was a drug addict, I was an individual who was unable to breathe. I was very overweight, I was obese, I was ugly. I understand? I never was doing fashion modeling. I was never tackling technology. I was never reading as much. I understand? I was becoming a nobody very quickly, and now time is on my side now because I have the next 72 years to perform and do whatever I want. But these are my TED Talk videos. I mean, I understand they have TED Talk, but they give you 18 minutes. I mean, understand? I mean, what's 18 minutes? I mean, come on. I mean, guess what? I mean, 18 minutes is a lifetime. But understand either way, it's a long time. I mean, guess what? I need more than 18 minutes. I mean, understand? I want to spark a crowd for 10 hours on TED Talk. I mean, they just give you 18 minutes. I mean, in a sense, so guess what? I make my own TED Talks. I mean, in a sense, so every single day, focus on creating your own opportunities. So anything that's your own opportunity is much better than other people's opportunities. I mean, you understand? Or is that somebody else may give you an opportunity because you have some information that they need. Or else now, because of that, you have to understand that's the only way they give you an opportunity. So an information product is like 50 hours of your music. You just go and play it somewhere, for example. Or 700 hours of knowledge. You just give it for free. I mean, that's why you get a promotion. I mean, in a sense, so what happens is, for example, I understand DJs, for example, around the world now. I realize there's 7 DJs right now that are around the world, trance DJs, that have their own radio show. But what are the differences over here? I realize now, Van Buren has a nice, beautiful radio show that's ASOT, and now Art State of Trance. And now because he has this radio show, or else he has his own studio, and now he has cameras, I realize he has a cameraman, and he also invites, or else he invites people to his show to do DJing sessions, and then he broadcasts them online for free, and then what happens is, or else he invites guests into his radio show, and they're maybe drinking or whatever, but they're partying with him, and then guess what, or else he also makes sure that other people are connecting with him online as well. And then what happens is, or else he also has his own online radio show that's always playing. I mean, and then he has his own website as well, which means that he's creating events around the world, and he's calling people up to make these events. And now he calls them up, and then he does 6 months ahead of time, so that he can call them up, and 1 year ahead of time, and 2 years ahead of time, or else he'll call them up. I mean, understand? Because what is his resume? I mean, he's going to say, I have this radio show. I mean, check it out on YouTube. I have this website. I've been doing events around the world at these places. You can reference them. You can give them a call to see how I am. I mean, go and check out my YouTube channel because I have many videos of myself. I have also I have these massive video hits of my music. I have so much success with all these people and artists and all this because I gave them money. I have this studio. I have also an individual who's working with me. I was inside of my studio every single week. I do 3 hours of nice, beautiful music production, and I also invite these guests. So these are all my references, or else these are my resumes, or else these are people who back me up and support me. I mean, now, if you never support me, I'll go somewhere else. But I understand I have so much success online and YouTube and Facebook and everything in terms of social media. I have over 3 million followers as well. You can come and check it out. And also go and check out my YouTube channel, because there's full of sets I've done and videos of me that other people are posting online. I mean, you can understand I'm famous. And also in the DJ mag, I was number 4 in terms of DJ in the world. I mean, I was in the top 100. I mean, in a sense, so guess what? Or else that's his resume. I mean, in a sense, so guess what? Or is they going to say, yeah, I mean, come over here. I mean, in a sense, because why? Or is, I mean, how did he create that? I mean, guess what? Or is at first, we have to understand this life story of Armin van Buuren. And now he has a nice, beautiful show online in terms of YouTube where you can go and see Mr. Perfect with Armin van Buuren. I mean, in a sense, so guess what? Or is it's a 6 episode, but guess what? You understand the backstory, which is understanding he was a bartender in a nice, beautiful nightclub, and he was DJing there as well. And then through his DJing mixes, he was also DJing and playing his music while he was also handing out drinks. And he was doing that for 10 years. Before he even get big, or before he even become big, he was producing music for 10 years. And he was just DJing in a regular nightclub and bartending for 10 years, understand? I mean, before he even became successful. And then guess what happened? I was now from age 22 to age 20, I was from age 22 to age 33, understand? Or he's just in the background. And then at 33, in terms of 2010, or he just skyrockets. I mean, you understand? Because now he finally made an album in terms of music where he has vocals and he has this nice, beautiful orchestra in his music in terms of live instrumentals and everything. And he can finally DJ in front of festivals. I mean, it's a massive promotion because now he's also, at this point, he has his own video hits. Or else who gave the money for it? I mean, he did. I mean, he gives them money, or else he gives the vocalist people money, and he also does his own video hits. So he gives people, a cameraman, money to promote himself in a video in terms of a video hit with his music and the woman or man that may be singing. And he just shows up in his video content. I mean, understand? So he's pouring money into that. And then guess what? Whereas now, if you want to do any of life coaching about this, you have to understand I'm teaching you about Armin van Buuren and how he does it. Because I understand that Armin van Buuren is also teaching you about it, but just never as much as I understand. I'll teach you far more about all of this. So if you want to create nice, beautiful references about all of this, you just grab somebody who's very successful and then just teach people about that individual. Understand? So what's amazing is understand. So what's amazing is I just had to sneeze and then my nice, beautiful video just went all the way and just finished up. I was like, what's amazing is I'm still continuing my video. I realized that now, what's amazing is when I say that, I realized that my video did finish up because I had something to do. I understand. Either way, you must understand that since Armin van Buuren is so successful, whereas now he's the most successful DJ from where I see, although I'm much more successful than him. I mean, and now why am I so much more successful? But he has more following and he has all these radio shows and all these events and he's so much more famous right now than I am. But why am I so much more successful than him? You must understand the whole reason right now is because I do life coaching more than him. I do life coaching more than him. I produce more content than him. Understand? I do much more than Armin van Buuren, even though he has a head start on me. Whereas he has around, he's around 44 right now. I'm 28. Understand? Whereas now I'm just number 1 in I. Understand? So guess what? Whereas what's amazing is realize. Whereas he has age on me. Understand? But I'm so much more successful at 28 than he ever will be. Do you understand me? Now guess what? Whereas I have a background of drugs. I've been doing drugs. I was a schizophrenic. I was in rehab, or else he never had to go rehab. Understand? So I was overweight, or else he was never overweight, like I was. Understand? Or else he was never doing drugs like I was. Understand? Or else now, you must understand, I grew up in a middle class family, understand? But we were always low on money. Understand? Or else we were always low on money. But guess what? I want to teach you about Armin van Buuren, because that way I understand much better what to do as well. Because every single time now that when you go and create your own websites and you go and create your own events and you go and create live performances in front of crowds and you get people to share you around much more, you have to understand you have to be in front of people and you have to be great at something. So Armin van Buuren is great at music production, understand? So he is always promoting himself in video hits, and or else he's doing his own radio show, or else he's doing his own music, or else he's doing his own business, or else he's going around the world and making events and then promoting other people's music and going on Beatport, which is a server where you can go online and give some money to get some people's music and then DJ it. You understand? And he does a radio show about that. And he finds people. And then he has his own radio in terms of his own label and record label. And then he gets other people to send him music. I mean, he has 18 million people who are sending him music every day. I mean, you understand? So focus on understanding that he's popular. You understand? And even though he has 3 million followers on Instagram, I mean, you have to understand he has another 4 million on YouTube. So that is all his resume. I mean, you understand? Because he can show people that. And now, what does he do from this point? All he has to do is just continue his road. I mean, it's a successful road. I mean, you understand? But I'm much more successful. I mean, why? I'm Serbian, or else he's never Serbian. I am also Croatian. I mean, he's never Croatian. I'm also somebody born in Sydney, or else he's never born in Sydney. Or else he never has my love story. Or else that's another one. Or else now I'm vegan, or else he's never even vegan. Or else I've overcome adversity much more than him. Understand? Or now I can honestly vouch for that. I mean, every single day, understand either way that he's better than yesterday, I'm better than yesterday. Or now we're both better than yesterday. Understand? And now understand either way that he may be drinking alcohol right now. Or he may be drinking some alcohol here and there. I never drink alcohol. I'm much more successful. I'm much more in discipline than he is. Understand? And that's why I overcome him. I mean, that's why I overcome everything he has, and I become much more. And now, when I become much more than him and everybody, or should people start getting jealous, or they start getting jealous of me, and they start hating me, and then, or else then they become much more cruel toward me. I mean, you understand? So what do I have to do? I have to back away from everybody. I have to go away from people. Much more, because I'm much more successful than them. So what do? I never want to be around unsuccessful people. I understand? So I go away from them. I understand? Because as soon as you're around people who are unsuccessful and you're successful, or they'll chuck rocks at you. I mean, they'll criticize you, or they'll drag you down. I mean, never be around those people. I mean, why? I mean, look at Jesus Christ. I mean, this is the definition of what I mean. Whereas you're very successful, like Jesus Christ, you go to the crowd to teach them everything, and to be kind, and to love them, and everything, and to just lift them. But they throw rocks at you, and they put you on the cross to die. I mean, understand what I mean? I mean, guess what? I mean, understand me now. Back away from the crowd and follow Jesus Christ, but follow him in a way that you understand that you never be around other people. But go and do Jesus Christ's work online from this point. I mean, you understand? Because I realize something now. I have more success than people, and guess what? Or they never want to tell me. I mean, they never want to say, hey, Danny, you're so much more successful than me. But if you tell somebody that you're so much more successful than me, you're so much more positive, aren't you? I realize if I tell you right now, you're so much more successful than me, I'm honest. But guess what? Or that's why I'm going to be just like you. You understand? Because if you admire me, you follow my direction. But they never want to follow my direction because they hate me so much. I mean, they hate my beard. I realize they hate everything about me. So what do? Or else I stay away from the crowd. I mean, in a sense, so every single day, focus on understanding. I plan on being single until 40 years of age. I'm 28. I have so much more time. I have so much more time for everything. I mean, kids, I mean, a wife, I mean, they never satisfy me. I mean, they never satisfy my growth. I realize they never do anything for me. You understand? I mean, they never walk my shoes in the first place. I'm so much more happy. I've done 700 hours of videos and 3 years of journaling and over 33,000 quotes. And I made over 50, I made over 50 tracks in soundtracks in terms of music production, and I've been doing it over 6 years. I've been living my life for 28 years without kids and without a woman. I mean, all my relationships that I ever had with other people have broken down. You understand? I mean, my first girlfriend left me for another guy. You understand? I was worse than yesterday at that point. I was smoking cigarettes at that point. I was doing drugs at that point. But she went to somebody else. And that guy's even worse than me. You understand? I mean, guess what? I mean, that was a heartbreak. Understand? And why was it a heartbreak? Because I was worse than yesterday when it happened. I was worse than yesterday at that point. Whereas now, from that point, I started to develop myself. You understand that it's more, I started to go downhill and then I started to develop myself. Or is that her leaving me was never enough for me to, let's say, develop myself. Or else it was only until I went to Australian Institute of Music that I really, really found my love. I mean, what kind of love? Or else that this guy gives me this nice, beautiful audible.com radio site and Audible, let's say, audiobook site, and I started to read. I'm reading all the time. Or else from that point, I was reading audible.com. I was reading audible.com every single day and giving $15 for this book. I said, $15 for one book? Like, come on, man. I mean, I can afford it. I always wanted to go the freeway. I can always go the freeway. But guess what? I was holding back at some point to give money I was holding back to give people money in plastic to gain some information from them. I was holding back for a bit. And then guess what? I said, I'll give this guy $15. I'll give this one $15. I'll give this guy $8. I'll give this guy $5. Understand? I felt poor. Understand? I felt poor. I mean, you understand? But guess what? I mean, it's the same thing as I'm Bruin. I mean, this guy goes and understands that he's playing 3-hour sets. I mean, that's $180 a week into his business. And then his radio show, in terms of how he does everything, or else he has to hire a cameraman, or else he has to do the radio show weekly with his friends. And now the guy that works with him, or else he has to give him money as well. I mean, understand? Or else he has to get all the camera and technology and give money for that. Or else he has to make events and give money for that. Or else he has to advertise events online and everything and give money for that. Understand? So your hustle is giving money. Your hustle is give money for everything. Or else if you understand to give more money and give more money and give more money, you'll be more successful. Or else now, if you understand that if your money is going into the better places in life, such as anything that's improving you, like anything that's never drugs, understand? Or else if you just get away from drugs, you're already in a better road and a better direction. Or as if you understand that if you're giving your money toward real estate, you will gain real estate money in return. Understand? Or if you're giving money toward music, you shall prosper in music. Or if you're giving money toward books, you shall prosper in life. Understand? I mean, why am I a life coach? I give so much money towards self-education everywhere. I mean, how do I give money today? I give money toward YouTube Premium. I mean, do you understand? I have YouTube Premium because I get to watch anything I want and I get to type and write as well while watching my note system as I write. And there's a little screen that pops up into my side menu on my beautiful phone, which I have a Samsung right now, and I have an iPhone, I have everything. Or is now, guess what? Or is that, since I say that, I mean, it's true. I mean, in a sense, every single day that what you say goes. I mean, every single day, focus on talking better and better and better, and focus on understanding I have everything. I have to achieve, I have to do everything, I have to do much better. So every single day, focus on understanding I have to teach myself the better way. The better way is understanding that whatever you want to achieve, you can speak it out of you and you can go and get it. Understand? So that family is coming up for me. I mean the kid, I mean the wife, I mean the sexy wife. I mean I understand that many guys have sexy wives. Understand? I mean they're so sexy, but guess what? Or is that never sexy for me? Understand? Because why? I mean, guess what? I mean that's contradictory. But guess what? Or is that never sexy to come and get me though? Understand? I mean they may look good, but guess what? Or is that they only ever look good if they're with me. And that's it. Understand? Too many guys out there and too many people out there are promoting women like some gods. Understand? Although they never grow me. They never ever lift me. I also never need their story. I never need your story either. I mean, whoever's watching me today, I never need your story in my life. I never need to see your experience about anything. I never need a woman in my life. You understand? I just have Jesus Christ information and Jesus Christ story, and that's all I ever need in my life. I mean, Jesus Christ story helps me more than your story. I promise you. And now, every single day, focus on understanding I'm the boss in my life. And I never ever allow people, in terms of anybody, to be the boss of my life. I mean, I get myself in a better position all the time. I make sure I understand that it's more about communicational skills today than it is a 9-to-5 job. Roshi, it's more about learning today than it is about a 9-to-5 job. Roshi, it's more about how much have you given than it is how much are you getting. I mean, it's more about how much are you giving in information than how much money in plastic are you making. I mean, you understand? So guess what? I realized I have music production as well. I'm a life coach as well. I mean, understand? So my side hustle is understanding I'm a comedian. I'm an actor. I have so much more on my plate. I want to do everything. I want to do as much as I can. So I'm performing as much as I can. You have to understand that now. There's a nice beautiful statistic I want to teach you. And it's, if you go on Instagram, I mean, post max 10 photos of yourself. And post one post a day into Instagram. And now I was an individual who was posting 100 photos of myself on Instagram stories a day. Russian, nobody gives me results. Russian, except I. Russian, now, guess what? I realized they never care about me. Russian, they never care about my 100 photos of myself a day in my stories. You understand? So guess what? I say, hey, screw you. You understand? I mean, screw you all. You understand? I mean, I come here being better than yesterday, and you never want to follow me. You never want to follow me because I'm better than yesterday. I mean, screw you all. You understand? I mean, guess what? I mean, now you guys are going to get 10 photos of me only. You guys are going to get 10 photos of me. You're going to get one post of 10 photos in my Instagram of me, there's my eye. Whereas now you're going to get one IGTV video whenever I post my nice beautiful music or make it. And then my Instagram reel, I mean, whenever I make my life coaching video, I'll post one Instagram reel. I mean, that's it. You understand? I mean, that's what you're getting. But you're never getting, again, 60 photos of myself a day in my Instagram feed. And you're never getting, again, 100 photos of myself in Instagram stories, because that's a waste of my time. I mean, understand? I mean, now guess what? I am never wasting my time. I'm never wasting my time here. I just saved 3 years of my life this way. I mean, if you're posting 60 photos of yourself into Instagram stories, into Instagram feed, and 100 photos into Instagram stories of yourself a day, I mean, that's 1 hour of your life. I mean, whatever your age is, I mean, calculate over 100 years. I mean, 1 hour a day times 365, and how much years until you turn 100? I mean, go and see that number. You understand my one is 3 years. You understand? I said 3 years of my life. But when you come to my story and you say, oh, but then he just posted 10 photos of himself. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's why I have over 16,000 photos of myself on Instagram, and you have 10 posts. I mean, do you understand? I have 16,000 posts, you have 10 posts. I mean, you understand? Russian, that's the difference. Russian, now, either way, I'm never losing time. I'm never losing myself. I'm never losing anything from this world. I'm making sure you understand that I'm always looking better. I'm always doing better. I'm always making sure that I'm lifting more people. But I understand that what's important now is that I do my work. I have to do my work. I understand I have to communicate. I have to grow. But growing is a long journey. Russian, you have to grow so much that other people will never call you successful. You understand? Russian never call you more successful. Russian they secretly admire you. You have to understand. You are so much more successful than them, but they never want to admit it. But they secretly come to see what you're doing. I mean, they secretly also talk shit about you. I mean, they talk bad about you, but then they want to come and see you again and again and again because you're so successful. Whereas now, guess what? Whereas like, it's just them. Whereas they're just doing worse than yesterday, and that's why they were talking bad about you. I mean, if they're doing better than yesterday, whereas that they are going to talk good about you. Understand? So never take it personally. Understand? I mean, just understand they are that way. I mean, worse than yesterday people, go for worse than yesterday people. And better than yesterday people, go for better than yesterday people. And anybody who's in between, goes for people who are in between. Understand? I mean, guess what? Whereas those are the 3 spectrums of life. I mean, which one are you? I'm in the better than yesterday range. I mean, in a sense, so I deserve much more. I mean, Kim Kardashian right now, you have to understand that she is worse than yesterday. You have to understand. I'm rushing now every single day. I can see that. I'm rushing she's doing too much drugs. I understand? I can see that. I'm rushing now every single day. I focus on understanding. I never go promoting wine online like Gary Vaynerchuk. I mean, although Gary Vaynerchuk is someone inspirational, and also Kim Kardashian in some way. Well, everybody is inspirational in some type of way. But I understand if I call you out and I say something about you, Now, you have to understand it's true. But if you say something about me, I will hear it and I'll outdo you. I mean, what have you got to say about me? I make a video about you straight away. I say, hey, I heard your video, man, but guess what? I'm better than yesterday anyway. I'm better than yesterday. You have bigger muscles. I'm better than yesterday. I'm better than yesterday. I see many people with bigger muscles than me, but they're steroids, man. I mean, they're too much drugs. I see Brock Lesnar is on the steroids, man. I mean, yeah, cannonball. I mean, I understand, man. I'm Rosh. That guy just wants to break legs, man. I don't want to break your legs. Understand? I see many people who are talking big about how big they are. I mean, big deal. Understand? I mean, guess what? What's big is Jesus Christ. I mean, are you bigger than Jesus Christ? I mean, do you have bigger muscles than Jesus Christ, man? I mean, go and walk 40 days and 40 nights in the desert, man. I mean, understand? I mean, go and do it. I mean, you say you're Mr. Universe. I mean, go and talk, man. I mean, show me. I mean, show me how good you are. I wish every single day, focus on understanding. You have to look like Jesus Christ and never like some Mr. Universe or some Mrs. Universe. Or that's all fake. Understand? Or now, what's never fake is Jesus Christ knowledge. Understand? So I look like Jesus Christ muscles right now. Understand? I follow Jesus Christ. But the woman wants a 2 centimeter bigger muscle than me. I mean, go Mr. Universe then. I mean, go over there. Understand? But I follow Jesus Christ. Understand? I mean, you go where you want to go. Understand? I follow you every single day in a way that I understand that if you have something to give me, I follow you. Understand? If you have nothing to give me, guess what? You have no interest about my life then. Understand? Now, guess what? Mark Zuckerberg here is showing me no interest about my life. Understand? Because I understand either way that what you have to understand about Instagram and advertising online with money in terms of plastic is 80% of the world has less than $10 in plastic money. Understand? I mean, they have less than $10 a day in plastic money. You understand that? You have to understand, I have over $50 a day. Understand? I'm much more successful. Whereas now, either way, you must understand that what you say goes. Or every single day, focus upon understanding that because I'm grown up in a certain way and certain fashion, you have to understand that everybody's equal. And everybody has a life story. Your life story is just as equal as my life story. Your life story is unique, just as my life story. But I have been more communicating than you. I'm doing more than you. So it never matters how far down you go. Whereas what matters is how much you can lift people. Understand? Whereas now I went downhill. Whereas now the next part is stealing stuff more, and then criminal work and drug dealing, and then also going to prison and violence with people. You understand? So that's never worth it. But if you go around nightclubs and trying to pick up women, or some guy will come up to you and say, get away from this woman. And if you never get away, or should they hit you, or should they start to cause you violence. You understand? I mean, never be chasing women in a nightclub because there's so many egotistical people that want you, they want you dead. You understand? I mean, they want you to understand something. I mean, if you go approaching women and they see that you're successful about it, first they'll say, get away from here before I slap you. I understand? And if you never get away, first they'll slap you. I understand? Because there's 10 of them and there's one of you. I understand? Because that's how big people play it. Or else they're very big and big muscle, but they need 10 people to kill you. I understand? That's how violence is. It's 1,000 against 10 people. I mean, how is that fair? Violence is never fair. Understand? So what is the fairest way to live life? Stay away from violence. Now, when you stay away from violence, you'll never have 1,000 versus 10 people. Understand? Now, if you understand, you're just honest about yourself. I mean, be honest about yourself when you're living life and doing something around life daily. Because when you're planning your life, you have to understand, you have to be free-flowing, you have to be looking at your finances, and you have to calculate everything. You have to understand that you have to go and upload your life online. You have to understand if you never upload your life online, I can never do it for you. I can only do it for I. I mean, I is everything. In a sense, so every single day, focus on understanding, I'm always unlocking my power within I. Because I is you, I is everything. Abarasha, now focus upon understanding how, Abarasha, you have to focus upon understanding on how to lift people. Abarasha, if you're lifting people, you're giving them ideas after ideas after ideas after ideas. And you're just talking differently all the time. Understand? Because never mistaken my looks and how I look. Understand? I mean, look at my language and look at my words, or else my words can teach you. I mean, if you have a frog, but that frog can have talk, I mean, guess what? I mean, you stay with the frog. Understand? Or else if the ant is with you, I mean, look at the ant. I mean, what looks better? I mean, do I look better than the ant? I mean, we look equal. I mean, we're both equal. Understand? I mean, do I look better than the dog? I mean, we're both equal. Understand? I mean, do I look better than the ugliest individual on the planet? Or should we look equal? Or should we equal? Understand? Or should I look better than beautiful people? Or should we equal? Understand? So, everything looks equal. Or should I look better than the rubbish bin and the rubbish bag? Or I mean, do I look better than horse manure? Or should everything is equal? Understand? Or should your image is the same as dog's poo? Understand? Or should your image is the same as your grandfather or anybody? You understand? Rasha, your image is what you see. You understand? Rasha, that's the word I. Rasha, now understand that's spirituality. But I understand either way that if you understand love is equal, you understand? Because anything that's equal is equilibrium. And equilibrium is balance. And when you have balance, you have feng shui. And when you have feng shui, you have the yin and yang. And then you have the knowledge of good and evil. And then you have Jesus Christ. When your life is balanced. I mean, is Jesus Christ balanced or unbalancing? I mean, Jesus Christ is balanced, mate. You understand? I mean, Jesus Christ balances life together. Verse now, you have to understand that anything that's unbalanced, in terms of anything that has unbalance in life, is something that's trying to confuse you. You understand? You have to be more balancing yourself. You have to understand, fall less on anything in terms of hurt yourself less. I mean, hurt nobody physically. I mean, guess what? Or else if you bump into people, have some common courtesy to say, I apologize. I mean, never say sorry. I mean, say, I am sorry. Understand? I mean, never try to bump into people or touch them or try to grab their ass or something. I never try to touch them. Understand? So I actually learned that because I was the one going to nightclubs trying to touch women's ass. You understand? Because guess what? Or that's what they were teaching me. You understand? And then somebody comes up to me saying, hey, we have to put you in jail. I mean, why? I mean, you cannot be doing that, man. I mean, guess what? Or is that why are other people doing it? You understand? I mean, is it my fault? I mean, I was unaware about it. You understand? I thought that was the thing. I thought that's what guys do. You understand? I see guys in movies do it. I mean, understand? I mean, why are you promoting it? Understand? Or if you only promote negativity in this lifetime, or should everybody become negativity? You understand? I mean, what you promote in life is what you are. I mean, what you read is what you are. Understand? Or if you just watch horror films all the time, you become a horror story in life. You start actually becoming Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger and Jason. You start killing people. I promise you. Rosh, the more you watch those films where it's violence, Rosh, the more it's teaching you to be violent. You understand? I mean, guess what? Or is it just images? You understand? I mean, never take it literally. I mean, if you watch action films, I mean, it's just images. You understand? I mean, if they kill people in action films, it never means for you to kill people. You understand? I was the one saying, hey, I mean, that guy touches the woman's ass, but she loves it. Or she loves it. I thought every single woman loves it now. Or that's never the way. You understand? Or now that woman may be his wife or his girlfriend. Or that's different. You understand? Or if it's your wife or girlfriend and you do it to her, and she doesn't like it from you, and she never loves you because of that, or she just say, hey, I mean, go find another guy. I mean, you understand? I mean, isn't that simple? I mean, do you understand? I mean, if she never wants you around her, I mean, never be around her. I mean, if she never replies to you, I mean, get away from her. I mean, you understand? I met a woman recently. And guess what happens? Or she comes to me and she gets my Instagram. And then I message her saying, oh, will you marry me? And she blocks me. Or else, and she blocks me. Or else now, that woman has no sense of humor. Because I'm just joking. I mean, that's it. So I'm very, very admiring everything in terms of life. And now when I admire everything, I admire Jesus Christ information only. I mean, why is that? Because I learn a lot about information of Jesus Christ, and then I understand my story. I understand how to go about life much better. But I understand either way that you have to understand that business is a giving service. And the more you can give, the more service you can give. And the more you can give, the more business you have. And the more you can give, the more money you have. Whereas the more you can give, the more you can travel the world. Actually, that's what it is. But what people are doing is the opposite. And what people are doing is they're trying to work for money, to get money to be successful. Actually, there's a big difference here. Actually, what you need to be doing is giving more money and information, you understand? Rather than trying to work for it to go around the world traveling. You understand? Actually, now, if you're giving money and information, you will go around the world much more faster than trying to work for the money to go around the world with the money that you work for. Do you understand? Because working for the money that you have right now is giving the money that you have. I mean, what am I giving you now? I'm giving you money. You understand? So when I give you more of this, I travel everywhere. Actually, it just happens. You have to understand, it's just amazing. You have to understand, actually, it's a prosperity. Because why? Because I'm helping people with this information. I mean, doesn't it make sense for you? I mean, does it make sense that I travel the world giving you knowledge? I mean, understand? I mean, would you rather give this knowledge of this video? I mean, would you rather give knowledge in this video, or would you rather give me plastic money? I mean, you have to give me both. You understand? You have to give me both. But I understand most people are the other way around, and they rather give information but take away from the video. In a way, they try to take something from this video. When they try to steal information, when they try to take some plastic money from me rather than give it. People want to take my information from me. You understand? I mean, I'm giving it to you. I mean, why do you want to take it from me? You understand? I mean, never try to take from this video. You try to receive it. You try to receive it, but never try to take something from me. I mean, now, if somebody's a thief around you, I mean, they want to take your leg from you. I mean, they want to climb up your leg from you. I mean, or else they want to put a knife into your eye they want to eye gouge your eye so that they have the eye. I mean, they want to cut off your hair so that they keep it for themselves. You understand? Or else they want to steal your stuff. I mean, they want to take away your hat forever so that you never have it. You understand? I mean, never try to take away from me. You understand? I mean, if I leave my bag 100 kilometers over there, I mean, leave it. I mean, never take it. Other way. You understand? I mean, now, guess what? I was that silent thief. You understand? I was a silent thief who was taking. You understand? And guess what? I see $50 on the floor now. In terms of plastic money, I leave it. I never want to pick it up. I mean, why is that? Because that's somebody else's. You understand? I mean, they never gave it to me personally. You understand? I'm aware of it. I mean, they lost it. I mean, they lost that money. I mean, do you understand? I mean, why do you want to pick up something that somebody else lost? You understand? I mean, why do you want to throw away your possessions? I mean, you never throw away your possessions. I mean, you only throw away when you never need it. You put it in a rubbish bin. But why? I mean, why do you see $50 of plastic money on the floor? I mean, do you believe someone just threw it away, or did they lose it? Now, because they lost it. Now, you have to understand. It's mostly because they lost it. I mean, either way, it's because they lost it. I mean, why? I mean, how do I really see that? I mean, they never say, hey, Danny, or your full name. I mean, here's some $50, man. I give it to you. Whereas now, if they give it to you, I mean, you just grab it and receive it. But if you find something on the floor, I mean, never pick it up. Because otherwise, you're stealing from somebody. I mean, how? I mean, they never gave it to you personally. I mean, they never chose to give it to you. I mean, for whatever money it is, I mean, $1 million of plastic money on the floor, I mean, never try to pick it up. You understand? I mean, never try to pick up 50 billion of plastic money on the floor. I mean, how many Bitcoins are there? I mean, if you see 50 billion Bitcoins on the floor, and somebody lost it, I mean, never try to pick it up because that's a thief who tries to grab that money. You understand? I mean, do you see it? I mean, they never came to your door to say, here's 50 billion in Bitcoins to give it to you. I understand? Because you look sus. I mean, imagine there's 50 billion Bitcoins right now on the floor, but they never chose to give it to you, but then you go, when you start picking that up, you understand? I mean, guess what? You never pick up the Bitcoins. You never try to take anything from the floor that somebody lost already. I mean, understand? I mean, if you try to take from people, you've also taken from yourself. You understand? And that's how God can see you too. Rush, everybody can see you. But be aware of it now. I mean, never try to pick up anything or get anything that somebody else never gave you. You understand? You never try to work for it either. You never try to work for Bitcoins. I mean, what's wrong? I mean, come on. I mean, what's wrong with you? I mean, never try to work for anything other than Jesus Christ. You understand? You work for Jesus Christ. Because when you work for Jesus Christ, you find information, and then when you find the information, you read it. And that's how you work for Jesus Christ. And then when you read it, you then give the information of Jesus Christ, and that's how you work for Jesus Christ. Now, if you want to work in this lifetime, you have to really understand what working is. You have to understand it's really reading and giving. Or else it's also receiving. So if you understand the three aspects of life, which is giving and receiving and reading, understand? Or if you understand there's no numbers over here. I mean, there's no numbers. I mean, if you see a number on the floor, you throw it away, you go away from it. I mean, if you see numbers in this lifetime, I mean, throw it away. Understand? You never need numbers in this lifetime. You have to unblock yourself. You have to understand numbers blocking you right now. You may be looking at a shirt or something, or in terms of technology, you may see that it is too much in terms of price, or it's never too much. Whereas if you never have the plastic money to get it right now, you never have a purpose for it. I promise you, if you need an iPhone and you have no plastic money to get it, you never need an iPhone. Understand? I promise you, when you have plastic money to travel the world, you then deserve it. Understand? I promise you now, if you can never afford it, you can afford it. You can afford anything, but never say that you can never afford it. I can afford anything. Why is that? I can afford it because I make sure that I go the affordable way. You understand? I mean, wow. I mean, why get the microphone that's $150 when I can get a $20 one? I mean, it's the same amount of work. You understand? I mean, go the more affordable way and never the cheap way. I never go the expensive way. I mean, you have no Ferrari, you never need a Ferrari. You understand? I mean, who are you going to drive in a Ferrari at 19 years of age? I mean, who? I mean, who is your friend? I mean, they'll never be there in 50 years' time. I mean, understand? I mean, who's going to be with you? You. You're going to be with you. Whereas now, for me to drive a Ferrari today, whereas I have some type of purpose with a Ferrari. I want to brand myself with Ferrari. I want to make sure that everybody sees my Ferrari, that I drive it. Whereas now I have a purpose to drive a Ferrari. I want to make sure it's just for I. I never need to pick up women in it. I mean, what do you believe? You believe rich men just get a Ferrari to get a woman? Or if you want a Ferrari, you get it for yourself. You say, I want to drive it for myself. I want to drive it for I want to drive it for my word I only. I mean, understand? I want to drive it for I. I love you. I mean, understand? I never get anything I have today for anybody else. I understand? I never give this for you. I do it for I. Understand? So make yourself happier first. I understand? I mean, forget numbers. I mean, numbers are just something you give. You understand? I mean, the more numbers you have is the more information you've given. And the more information you've given, the better you are. I mean, in a sense, so make sure you understand that when you're developing yourself and you're going around the world and traveling everywhere, it's because you've given yourself the chance to. I mean, nobody's going to give you a chance in this lifetime except you. Nobody else is giving me a chance. Nobody in this lifetime will give you a chance except you. You understand? I'm the sole proprietor of somebody who's done 700 hours of video on my time. Nobody else is doing it for me. You understand what success is now. I mean, who's doing it for Armin van Buuren? I mean, he only. Nobody else is doing that radio show except him. He's alone. Amana label. He has all the best DJs in the world in that. All the best DJs in the world are in that nice, beautiful Amana label. I realize now I am even better than all of them. I'm better than all of them. I never need them. You are never in their label. You never need their label. Or if they reject you, or if they reject themselves. You understand? You never like me, you never deserve me. You never want to be with me, you never deserve me. You never come my way, you never need me. You understand? I never need you. Or that's it. Or now, guess what? Or is that every single day when they talk bad about you, or is they never talking bad about you? I'm pretty sure they're talking good about you as well. I mean, if they're talking bad about you, I'm pretty sure they'll talk good about you too. I mean, if they talk bad about you only, well, that's because they're going to prison very soon. You understand? I mean, who wants to be around people who talk bad about you all the time? I mean, do you want to be around people who talk bad about you? Or should nobody wants to be around those people? Or should they're talking bad about you, or should they're talking bad about everybody else? Or should it's a reflection of them and never you? Or if you talk bad about me, I'll just never be around you. I mean, is that simple? Or if you talk bad about me, and then you have a change of mind, then you'll talk good about me. You understand? I will just talk good about you. I mean, guess what? I'll tell you really. I'll say something very, very true about you in either way. I'll say that you drink alcohol and that you're a stupid idiot for drinking alcohol. I never drink alcohol. I mean, am I negative on you? I'm probably sure I'm never negative on you because it's the truth. You understand? And now whoever's watching me, or actually somebody may be watching me right now who's drinking alcohol, or actually that's true, but I'm truthful with you. You're a stupid idiot for drinking alcohol. You're a stupid idiot for eating meat. You understand? I'm a vegan. You're a stupid idiot if you're eating meat. I'm never negative about you. I'm positive about you. You understand? I mean, if you believe you're more positive than me, killing cows, you're killing cows. I'm never killing cows. You believe you're more positive than me? You're never positive than me. You're never more positive than me. You're never more positive than me in life. You understand? You believe you're much more positive than me killing pigs and drinking caffeine and going nightclubbing and having sex with other people? I never need that in my life. You understand? Or now, guess what? I mean, that's the case for me right now. I never have sex with other people at the moment. I never know anything other than my word I. I mean, guess what? Or is that every single day, understand that when you're really, really developing yourself and doing something much better, I mean, I'm never trash talking anything. I'm being honest. I'm being truthful. You understand? There's plenty of guys going out there and having sex with all these women. But those women are low value. Unfortunately, they're just skin and flesh. Unfortunately, they have nothing to give you. Unfortunately, they have nothing to give you. I mean, understand? Unfortunately, those guys are teaching you to be horny, and those women on pornography and all that are teaching you to be horny. You understand? And guess what? I mean, you never need to be horny. You never need to go having sex with other people. I mean, that's what they're teaching you. You never need to do that. Unfortunately, look at Jesus Christ. Unfortunately, that's never what Jesus Christ teaches you. You understand? I mean, go against the grain. I mean, follow Jesus Christ. You understand? Because plenty of guys on pornography have sex with hundreds of women on that. You understand? I mean, they have videos of them doing it. You understand? And it seems like they're doing much more than you in life. Or else it seems like they're having more sex with women than you, or that they're having more sex with men than you. But that's stupid. You I mean, does Jesus Christ do that? Or Jesus Christ never does that? You understand? Because that's stupid. I mean, Jesus Christ, I mean, you call him stupid? You never call Jesus Christ stupid. I mean, you understand? Because anything that's never Jesus Christ is stupid. Understand? So follow the best way. I mean, follow Jesus Christ. Understand? I mean, if you're chasing people to have some pleasure from them, it's because what? I mean, what are you going to achieve from that when there's nothing there to achieve? I mean, communicational skills is everything. So when you're communicating much better, you're going to become much more. I promise you. As soon as you start chasing other people for pleasure and to get with them, that's the moment you lose yourself. I promise you, because time is never on your side when you're with other people. You understand? I get away from other people so I can live a peaceful life and so that I can have time on my side. I mean, everything works for me when I'm just with I. I promise you, the moment I have to be with you is the moment I lose. I never have to be with you because I never lose. You understand? Whereas if you go with other people, you're lost. You see, if you go with yourself only, you win. You have to go your direction. You never go with other people. You try to split up. You try to split up from the crowd. You try to go your own way. You try to do it as fast as possible. I mean, what age are you right now? You have to leave your parents. You have to leave the crowd. You have to leave the area that you're living in as fast as possible. You understand? I have people from the past who believe they're very successful, and this is very funny, but understand that they are never music producers. I mean, they're never life coaching anybody. You understand? I mean, they have no YouTube channel. You understand? And guess what? You have to understand that they are life coaching to some degree. You have to understand, although they never have a YouTube channel, you understand? Or else they never have over 700 hours of video content, or else they never start a YouTube channel. And guess what? I mean, they have no word I, and they're drinking alcohol, and they believe they're more successful than me. I'm sober, I'm vegan, and they're not even, or else they're never even vegan. And they believe they're more successful than me. And those women that are going for those guys believe they have a man who's much more worthy of them than me. I mean, really, you'd rather go for a drug addict. You'd rather go for somebody who's eating meat. I mean, really, you believe you're so nice, huh? You'd rather have a violent attitude around you. I never have to have violent people around me. You understand? I mean, but somebody else is making your food. I mean, somebody else is killing the cow. I mean, take some responsibility. You understand? I mean, why do you have to involve yourself in that? I mean, why do you have to be around people who are eating meat? I mean, what for? I mean, because you're eating meat? I mean, because you grew up in a parents' house where you ate meat? I mean, is that why you eat meat? I mean, I grew up with people who eat meat too. I mean, my ancestors and my cousins and family and everybody in terms of my biological family is eating meat right now. I'm vegan. I challenge all of them. Everybody, you have to understand. You have to challenge them. You have to challenge everybody. Because I understand, if you believe you're kind for killing a chicken, and you believe you're more positive than me, and more successful than me, who's a vegan, who never has to kill a chicken, I urge you, wake up. Understand? I mean, wake up to yourself. I mean, many women believe some other guy is much more positive than me and better looking because they're killing chickens. I mean, how cruel is that? I mean, this woman is so ugly. I mean, you have to see this woman. I mean, she's killing everybody in terms of the nice, beautiful animals. I mean, she's killing animals. She's going for guys who, looking like pit bulls. I mean, understand? I mean, they look so muscular and all this, but killing all the chickens, all the cows, and she believes like she has a man or something, man. I mean, she believes like she has something in life. You wish. You understand? You wish. You wish you had Jesus Christ. I promise you. Do you believe Jesus Christ goes killing the cows? I mean, do you believe Jesus Christ goes slaughtering chickens? I promise you no. Version now, yes, in a way that you have to understand that no. Version Jesus Christ never goes killing anything in terms of this lifetime. Version now, in the Bible is what I mean. but yes. That where you see Jesus Christ with the disciples, where he says, throw in the nets. And he's with the disciples where the disciples are running around and it's a storm. But there's an earlier situation then. Or the disciples are asking Jesus about catching fish and that they have no food. When Jesus Christ says, throw in the nets, and they catch the fish. You understand? But did Jesus Christ catch the fish? Or Jesus Christ is never holding the net. Or Jesus Christ never holds the net here to catch the fish. Because what is Jesus Christ teaching here? I mean, Jesus Christ says, never work for food and drink. You understand? I mean, never work for food and drink. And now, where did Jesus Christ get the food and drink? I mean, he gets it from other people for free. I mean, where did Jesus Christ sleep? I mean, he gets it from other people for free. I mean, he gets accommodation for free. You understand? I mean, what is Jesus Christ saying here? I mean, he says, never work for bills. I mean, never work for accommodation. Whereas now, did Jesus Christ give tax money? I mean, guess what? I mean, yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ gives tax money. I mean, Jesus Christ is saying you have to give tax. I mean, what is giving tax? You have to give overall. I mean, never block giving, mate. I mean, that woman who has 1 penny, and that's everything she has. She has to give. I mean, she has to give. I mean, do you understand? I mean, it's the last penny, man. I mean, she has to give the last penny, man. I mean, if you have the last drop of life, you have to give it. You understand? You have to give everything. You understand? I mean, Jesus Christ never said to her to take it back. Because the whole point is give first, and you shall receive. You understand? So, every single day, never work for accommodation. I mean, where is accommodation? I mean, it's your word, I. You understand? I mean, yeah. I mean, if you didn't, I mean, or if you never seen that coming, man, you lost yourself in the process. You understand? I mean, your word, I is your accommodation, mate. You have to know your word, I. I mean, what do you believe? I mean, do you believe this is accommodation around me? Or that's never accommodation. Or I live in the word, I love you. I. And Jesus Christ says, never cut your eye out. I love you. Understand? I mean, that's what Jesus is referring to in the Bible all the time. In every single sequel and every single verse, everywhere. I mean, the I is the answer. Understand? I mean, guess what? I mean, every single time you see Jesus Christ, you be much more of a blessing. I mean, guess what? I mean, every single day, focus on understanding Jesus Christ never works for bills and never works for accommodation and never works for food and drink. I mean, what does Jesus Christ work for? I mean, Jesus Christ works for the word I. I mean, who do you work for? You have to work for the word I. Understand? I work for I. And that's it. Approach now, if you understand that, I work for everything. Understand? I work for everything when it's the word I. I mean, I is everything. I mean, would you rather have the word I as nothing or everything? I'd rather it be everything. Understand? I mean, why is that? I'm just the word I anyway. I mean, the word I can be nothing. I mean, understand? I mean, it can be. I mean, you can label the word I everything. I mean, I is evil. I is good. I is the whole life story. I mean, understand? I mean, guess what? I mean, understand your word I now. You have to know the word I. I'm always starting the sentences with the I and ending with the I. But she believes this guy is so sexy. And he killing cows, man. I mean, do you see how ugly she is? I promise you. You understand? And now, if you're eating meat, or it means you're ugly. You understand? I promise you're ugly if you're eating meat. You have to boost your attitude. Whereas now, if you understand that everybody can be beautiful, I promise you, everybody is beautiful too. You understand? Whereas now, I'm never ugly. But if you understand, I'm much more beautiful than meat eaters. I mean, understand what I mean? I mean, understand? I mean, now, I never call you ugly if you're a vegan. I never call you ugly if you're a vegan. You understand? Approach now, just get to my level and you'll be beautiful. You understand? I mean, you'll be more beautiful. I mean, do you agree with being more beautiful? You have to be more beautiful. I mean, stop trying to make other people feed you. Stop trying to understand anything other than grow yourself. Understand? I mean, never make other people feed you. I mean, do I have to come over there and feed you? I mean, Jesus Christ is already feeding you. I mean, what? I mean, the food and drink in life of the wisdom of Jesus Christ. I mean, you understand? I mean, guess what? I'm very successful, am I? I mean, does Armin van Buuren teach this? Or should no? Or does anybody teach this? Or should no? Or should nobody teaches this? That's in my video. Or should this is the food of God? Or should this is the food of God I've given you over here? Understand? Or should now I fed you already. I'll give you more. Understand? Or should they call themselves music producers? I'm a music producer too, but I'm a life coach. I teach you more about everything. I teach you about business, life, and music production. Or should they just in it for themselves? Or should now Armin van Buuren, or should now he may teach you a bit here and there. But I see it. I promise you that there's a lot that he's hiding from you. I promise you. I promise you now, although he's in the spotlight, I promise you there's a lot that he has to talk about, is what I mean. I promise you there's a lot that he has to talk about. You understand? I promise you now he's unaware of it. You understand? I can see it. I promise you I never blame him. I mean, he has all that success and he's trying to show you. I mean, he's trying to give it to you. I can show you that. I can show you now. I can speak that language that he is missing. I'm much more aware. You understand? Because life coaching is what he needs. You need life coaching. You need to be a life coach. You understand? I mean, no matter what your age is. I mean, start earlier. I mean, forget that idiot who says teenagers and they're never life coaches. Start life coaching as a teenager and you understand at 30 years of age how good you are. You understand? Versus the sooner you start teaching people, the better. You understand? I want to do this from age 1. I want to start speaking like this at age 1. When you get it. I mean, imagine me at age 1 doing this. I mean, imagine me just born in this world. I mean, my biological mother's holding me like this. I say, Mama, I want to go on camera. I want to teach people. You understand? I mean, go and have faith. I mean, forget that idiot who's 80 years of age, who's very old. You understand? I mean, guess what? You never need them. You never need him. You never need her. You need yourself. I mean, if you care for him, I mean, who is he? I mean, who is she in your life? I mean, are they walking your shoes? You understand? You just need Jesus Christ. You understand? You never need me. You need Jesus Christ. You understand? So guess what? I mean, focus on understanding. I'm unlocking something in you. I'm making you smarter. I'm opening doors. You understand? I promise you, you'll remember my words. I promise you now, guess what? I promise you, the more I speak and the more you read from me, I promise you that nice beautiful bar that you have, or is now your bar may be at level 1 right now. I mean, let's just say your bar may be at level 3. You read from me for however many times, that bar will never go down. I mean, that bar is just lifting you. You understand? Whereas now, you may be at level 10, but then guess what? You may drop down to level 5, and you'll hear Danny's idea, and you'll say, oh, I mean, that's why I'd be at level 11. I mean, understand? I mean, then you're going to keep reading, and you're going to be level 15 by the time that happens. And then guess what happens? You'll say, oh no, I remember what Danny said at level 10 though. I mean, that's why I'll go level 17. And you get it? Because why? You're reading more from me, and that's why you're going to be lifting. But now, you'll never drop below 10 levels. Because why? Because you read from Daniel Milivojevic for the past 5 years. Understand? And that's why that wisdom, I open doors. And that's why you never fall back to level 3 again. Because I gave you the wisdom to be level 10. Understand? But then if you read another year from me, you'll be level 15. And you'll never drop below 15. Regardless of your... I realize that the more you read from me, the more you do what I say. You understand? Or now, if you do what I say, you become what I am in life. Or now, guess what? You just have to do what I do. You don't have to do what I say. You have to do what I do. You understand? And then what I do is what I say. You get it? I'm a vegan. I'm saying I'm a vegan, but I'm doing it. You understand? But I have to say it so you understand it. I mean, now do what I say. You understand? Whereas now, if you do what I say, you capture the idea right now. You say now, how do I become a vegan? I mean, now that's a different story. Understand? You have to be committing yourself to become a vegan first. You have to be in dedication to become one first. You have to ask yourself the question first. I mean, if you want to open a door for yourself, you have to ask yourself the question, how do I become a vegan? You stay away from meat. I mean, that's it. Gosh, that's it. I mean, what kind of meat is there in the world? I mean, what kind of meat do you eat in life? I mean, you're just eating pigs, maybe? You're eating what else? I'm eating only vegan food. You have to understand pigs and cows and chicken and fish. I mean, what else are you eating? You're eating a bull, you're eating a goat, you're eating snakes, you're eating dogs. I mean, just throw away the meat. I mean, now guess what? Whereas that means never go to the supermarket to get, never go to the supermarket to get meat. I mean, never go to the restaurant to get meat. I mean, understand? But guess what? Or instead of eating the cow, just eat the pig for now. I mean, guess what? Let's just say you eat cows and pigs and dogs and fish. I mean, understand? And snakes. I mean, guess what? I mean, let's get rid of the dog and snake, but let's just eat the fish and cow and pig. Understand? I mean, guess what now? I mean, let's go to vegetarian diet, because when you're a vegetarian, you're at least going to understand that you're going to be a pescatarian vegetarian. So you're going to eat vegetables and fruits and fish. But eventually we have to get that way. So we have to make a goal for that. But then what else do we have to drop to be able to get to the fish? Whereas now we'll drop the cow and eat the pork instead. And we'll just eat the pork and fish for a bit. I mean, we'll eat that for 2 months to see how we go without the beef. And then we're going to finally drop out the pig. And then we're just going to go into fish diets. You understand? Or now we're never eating beef and pork and dogs and snakes anymore. You understand? But what we're going to eat now is fish and vegetables and fruits. So now what you're going to do is you're going to find a substitute to drop out the fish eventually as well. You understand? You're going to say, hey, I have tofu instead. And you're going to throw out fish, you're going to eat tofu instead. You understand? And now you're a vegan. I mean, how good does it feel? Rashid, that's it. Rashid, that's how I became vegan. You understand? Rashid, now, guess what? I drop out all the restaurants and pizzas as well because they have cheese. You understand? I go from cheese to tofu. I drop out the supermarkets and all the food aisles where there is meat. I never have to walk there again. I never have to go to those restaurants again to eat meat. I never have to go anywhere in the past where there's meat anymore. I never have to go to a kebab shop to eat meat anymore. You understand? I can go to a kebab shop to eat falafels or something like that, which is another form of vegan food. I mean, a falafel or something like that. You understand? And I put it in a kebab. And then the sauces you can eat it, but it's processed. Or as the sauce is unhealthy because it's white sugar. But now because white sugar, I mean, that's what white sugar too. I mean, let's go from white sugar into natural sugar, understand? And raw sugar. And where do you find that? You find it in fruits, you find it in vegetables, and you find it in soy milk. I mean, drop out the Coca-Cola and Fanta and Sprite. So now, we have the same situation. I mean, let's drop out the Coca-Cola, but let's just drink Fanta and Sprite for 2 months. I mean, eventually you'll be so confident that you say, hey, I want more results, bro. I want more results. I mean, let's drop out the Fanta and just go to Sprite then. But then you're understanding that you drink other hosting of food and drinks, but understand either way that we have to find a substitute to drop out the Sprite. But what we're going to do is we're going to drop out the Sprite and we're going to go into green tea, for example. I mean, now, either way, I mean, let's just say you're drinking green tea, for example. I mean, let's just drink peach tea or something, you understand? Or either way, I mean, from green tea, we're going to go into peach tea, you understand? And you're going to swap it. But after 2 months, you understand? And then guess what happens from that point? Whereas now, eventually, we're going to go and swap the peach tea and we're going to drink soy milk instead. Because soy milk has 34 grams of plant protein and peach tea has no grams of protein. I mean, what's a better one? I mean, go soy milk. And now you're dropping out more white sugars from your life, you're dropping out the meat from your life very quickly throughout time. And now it took me 1 year to become a vegan. I mean, it took me 51 weeks to become a vegan. You understand? And guess what? In the process, I lost 47 kilos becoming a vegan. You understand? I'm now healthier than ever. I'm 3 years vegan, but I stay away from all the places of meat. I never touch meat anymore. You understand? I never try to kill. You understand? So either way, that is the process to becoming vegan, but you have to do it. You just have to substitute some foods and foods, and then guess what? You have to read about the foods too. You have to see what's on the labels. So I stay away from all the foods out there that have preservatives as well. You understand? I see now GMO and GMS, you can eat it. You can eat it. You can eat gluten. But I understand that some people do have some kind of trauma about that. You understand? Because somehow their body never reacts to it or something. You have to understand either way that if you never want to drink or eat GMO and GMS in terms of GMS or gluten, you never have to. I mean, stay away from it. You can still live. You understand? Whereas now my body can take gluten. You understand? Whereas I have no clue on how they dislike gluten. Whereas now Jesus says over here that they're just fooling around. I mean, they're fooling around. You have to understand. Whereas everybody's body can take gluten. Whereas everybody can do gluten. I mean, Jesus says so. I mean, you understand? I mean, guess what? I mean, everybody can eat food here. I mean, there's no allergen in food that you can ever eat. Whereas Jesus says you can eat everything. You understand? But you can only eat vegan food. You understand? Approach now. Either way, or that's what I say. You must only eat vegan food. But Jesus says you can eat everything. You can eat everything. You can do it. You can go kill people if you want. Or Jesus says you can go kill people if you want. You understand? Or nothing's holding you back. But follow Jesus Christ's commandments, which is thou shalt not kill, and thou shalt not steal, and thou shalt not murder. I mean, you understand? I mean, of course you can do anything. I mean, you get it? I'm never telling you to go kill people. I mean, I'm telling you to follow Jesus Christ. You understand? So when you're following a better way, you're going to focus upon understanding how to lift people. Whereas now, if you're lifting people daily, you have to be life coaching, you have to be making music, you have to be understanding, you have to be alone throughout life. You have to understand that your way is the best way. And now when your way is prospering in Jesus Christ, then your way is the best way. I promise you, although you have to challenge people, you have to challenge their mediocrity, you have to challenge who they are, you have to challenge their positive, you have to challenge everything about them. You understand? You have to challenge everything you ever see and do, and everything you ever hear. You understand? I mean, just because somebody says that they cannot hear you, I mean, it never means for you to slow down. It never means for you to stop doing something that you're doing so that they can hear you. You understand? I mean, if they can never hear you, I mean, that's their problem. You understand? I mean, just make sure that you can hear people. I mean, make sure that you can talk. I mean, make sure that you understand that if somebody is saying that you have to come there to help them, right now you can help them over the phone. You can help them anywhere in life. You understand? Right now, every single day, you understand my time is so valuable that I never work with you 1v1 in lifetime. You understand? Whereas now in the lifetime, in terms of 1v1, whereas now I'm helping you 1v1 here, but I never help you personally in front of my face for plastic money. You understand? Is what I mean. I never do it for plastic money, but if you ask me in real life to help you, I have so much more time to never talk to you. I never want to be around you. Understand? I say, hey, you have over 700 hours of knowledge on my YouTube channel, and this is what I say to everybody. I mean, stop wasting my time. I mean, why do I have to sit with you for 20 minutes of my time when I do it for free? You understand? Whereas now, if I ask you for $100,000 and you give it to me, I then have to come and sit with you for the length of time because you own me for that period. You'll never own me. You never own me for any period of time. Understand? I never ask you for plastic money. Understand? But because I never work for plastic money, I never have to sit with you in a restaurant for 30 minutes because you want some help from me. You believe that I give it for free. I mean, I give it for free. I give you information for free. But you go online and do it. I never want to sit with you. You understand? I never want to sit with you, mate. Whereas now, if you say this to me, and you say, I'll give you 50 grand, but you must be here. I mean, guess what? I receive the money and I go. Understand? I'll be with you. I'll be with you for that period of time. I mean, why? Because you're giving me the money. I'm never working for it. You understand? I choose from my heart to actually be with you. Understand? I mean, now, if I ask you for the money and you give it to me, I have to be with you anyway. You understand? But what's amazing is I never want to work for the plastic money. I work for Jesus' wisdom. You understand? And now Jesus' wisdom is everything in information. I'm an information worker. You understand? I realize now, either way, that you can never own me. I'm a free agent. You understand? Firstly, I'm not Jim Rogan in terms of Joe Rogan. I'm Jesus Christ. You understand? I'm I only. Whereas now, I have nothing against Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan. But I understand either way that Spotify gives him $10 million and says, hey, get off your YouTube platform and get your information off it. Because they want it on Spotify. And guess what he has to do? I mean, he has to make sure he's living up to that. Because he's working for the money. Understand? But if Spotify comes to me and says, hey, we want to sponsor you. I mean, would you be willing to work with us? I mean, I can work with you for free. I mean, but they say, oh, but we want to give you $10 million. I mean, you can kindly give it to me if you want. Or should they say, oh, but we want you to sign a contract with us? Or should I say, I never sign contracts? Or should they say, oh, I understand, although I see what you mean. Or else, we want you to have a contract with us so that you can work with us, though. I say, I never work contracts. Or now, guess what? Or they never want to give the money freely to me. I mean, they want me to work for the money. You understand? I mean, now I can say over here, I can say you can give me the money, and then I can also give you the option of what you want. You understand? Although, guess what? I can give you the option. You understand? But I want to see what the option is first. Or now they may say, we give you $10 million, but get off your YouTube channel and never do YouTube again. But do on Spotify. I say no deal. I say no deal. I say you give me $10 million and I'll give you the information you need. Rosh, now, if you say that, you deserve it. Understand? You can ask to gain some plastic money so that you can exchange some information. You can do that. I mean, it never means that you're working for the money. You understand? So that's a new skill that I just am learning today. You can ask people for plastic money to give them information about it. You understand? But guess what? Or is that you're never really asking for the plastic money here. You're really just asking to give them information. But they believe that you're working for money. You're never really working for money. You're just giving them information. You understand? And that's how they may give you some plastic money for your information. You understand? But what happens here is that's the way. So what happens here is if you price yourself in a way that you are exposing that you are this type of income or this type of financing to get you, which that means you're dying. But if you're saying, hey, you guys can give me this much and this much, so I can give you this much and this much, or now that's a deal. Or you just win. I mean, how do you win here? You're actually winning because what you're saying over here adds up. And now how does it add up? Or now, when it adds up, it means that I will exchange with you this video. You understand? And I'll give you more. And you have to understand, you just give me this amount so that I can give you this amount of information. You understand? Because it's an exchange of services over here. And now if you disagree with my information, you then lose, but I win. Whereas now you have to turn the situation around And you have to understand it's more about giving the information, and you're saying to them, I'll give you the information you need to give me this amount of money. So they understand you deserve it. You understand? Because now you're never working for the money, you're just working to make sure that you have everything you ever need. Understand? Now, what you can do anywhere around the world is you can go and price yourself in a way that you understand. You say, I give you this amount of knowledge so that you can get this amount of whatever you need, so that I can get this amount of cash from you. Understand? Now, it's an exchange of services. I mean, it never means that you're working for it, because they can decline you, but if they decline your information, I realize they lose. I love that. Do you understand me? I mean, now that's a different point of view, but if you go to people and say, hey, I work for this amount of money, I mean, guess what? I mean, if you say that, you've already lost. But have you really? You never did lose. But what you say is, you say, I work for this amount of plastic money. You never even say that. You never work for plastic money. So what you say is, if you understand that if you lose in life, you're the one who's working for plastic money. But people who point that out, that they work for plastic money, are the ones who want the plastic money first before the service. So what I say is, let's say, for example, that Ted over here is going to talk to Danny, and Ted is going to price himself first for plastic money before he gives you some information. So Ted comes up to Danny and says, hey, I have a subscription plan of $30 to get some information. Are you interested? I mean, guess what? I mean, I have to find out about that information before I give him money. You understand? But if Ted comes up to me, never selling himself for the money, you understand? And comes up to me and says, hey, Danny, I have a nice, beautiful way of saying that I want to help you with your service, but you have to give me some money in order to get it. Are you interested? Or now, there's a difference here. And now, I may ask, what is the information? Whereas now I say, it's all about your health in Jesus Christ. Whereas now, I say, wow, I mean, where is it? I mean, where is that information? I mean, now, he's going to say, you can find it on my website, but you have to understand either way that if you find it, you also shall give me some money in return for what I give you in terms of life. You see, now, that's another way to say, hey, yes, because that's a yes. And now, how is it yes? Because there's no plastic money involved over here. You understand? Because I'm really understanding him that he wants to help me with information here. So all he's really asking for is to give me some information so that I can give him some plastic money here. You understand? I realize although that he wants to give you the information first before anything happens. So then Ted over here says, hey, I mean, go to this link and go and search up all that information. And then once you're happier, you can give me that plastic money. You understand? So what am I doing over here? I'm doing what Ted is doing right now. You understand? I'm never asking you for that plastic money. I'm never asking you at all. I mean, you just show up into my videos, and here I am giving you the information. And then guess what? You guys are going to give me some plastic money in return, eventually. You understand? And that's what I mean. I mean, now, understand this. That if you go to people now, and you personally ask them one-on-one, you get some money. You understand? You actually get some money from them. So what you can do is realize that if you understand that if you're doing it in life, you can do it much earlier. You can understand that you can go to people and talk to them right now, and you can also pitch them at your seminars. You understand? And now if you're pitching them at your seminars, all you have to really say is, I give you this amount of knowledge for free. You understand? So eventually you guys will give me plastic money in return when you guys are in satisfaction with it. You understand? You'll promote me, you'll give me attention, you'll also share me around. You guys understand? Because I'll give you this information. I mean, that's the nice, beautiful deal. And then everybody's happy. You understand? But I give you the information first. You understand? Because that's how I care about you first. I care about you first like that. Because if I just ask for the information in terms of, if I ask for the plastic money, or then you never want to say yes because you want to find out about the information. You understand? I mean, now guess what? Or is that either way, if you're really smart about this, you say, I never care about your information. You say, I want to see your information. I mean, you understand? I mean, now that's a smart idea because that's contradictory. But you say, I understand that you're trying to price me first, but let me see your information. I'll give you some plastic money to see that information. Or it's worth it already. I mean, you understand? Or it's already worth it. I mean, if I say, I'll give you one little word of life. I mean, you have to give me $1 billion to get this one word of life that's going to change your life. Or if you're really smart, you give me the $1 billion so you can find out that little word. You understand? I mean, do you believe that? I mean, do you believe that's smart? I mean, do you believe it's smart for you to find the 1 billion word of life about everything that can help your life? I mean, do you give me $1 billion when I ask for it? You have to. You have to. You understand? Because why? Or because why? You'll find out something. You have to give some plastic money to find out some information. You understand? You have to give some plastic money even before they give you the information. You understand? You have to give some plastic money so that you can find out that little word that's going to help your life, which is I. I is what changes your life. You understand? I is everything. You understand? I mean the I word. I love you. I mean, I know my word I. Actually, that's all the money in the world. I thank you for your $1 billion. I mean, are you happy now? Do you finally have the answer that you've been looking for? You understand? Because guess what? I mean, if you said no, or if you said no to give me $1 billion, you understand? You never find yourself ever again. You never find who you are anymore. Because I know my word I, but you never know your word I. I know my word I. Understand? Or I promise you, although you must understand. I know my word I, but you never want to find out the little word I. So whatever I did ask you for, you never get either. You understand? I get it. I have more than the $1 billion that I asked you for. You understand? But I understand my word I, but you still have to find out. You understand? Or that's why you lose. You understand? But if you say, Danny, I mean, how can I afford it? I mean, that's different. But never say that you cannot afford it. Or now, if you say, Danny, how can I afford it? I give it to you for free then. I give you the information for free. I just want to see, do you have the money or not? Understand? Or actually now, I say, forget that. I just want to give you the information anyway, because I'm so kind and generous. Understand? Or there's a big difference, isn't there? Because now you're saying, wow, I mean, that's it. Whereas now, if you're honest with yourself, you have to give money regardless. I mean, do you understand? But most people hoard, most people hold their money away from them. And why is that? Because their money is scarce. And they're scarce about giving money to you. But they give it to a Coca-Cola. I mean, understand? Or they rather give you $0, but give Coca-Cola and white sugar some money. Understand? I mean, they rather give money toward drugs than give a life coach like Danny Milivojevic some plastic money for a life coaching video like this. Understand? I never ask for donations from you. I have everything already. Understand? Or although they rather get some drugs today, or they rather give it to their family member who teaches them little about life. Understand? I teach more about life than they do. Understand? I mean, either way, you must understand that everything's equal. Understand? But what's important is understand that they rather give plastic money toward possessions than to Danny Milivojevic, who teaches wisdom. Understand? I mean, either way, you must understand that what's amazing about life is if you just keep giving information, you shall prosper, you shall succeed. So no amount of money or challenges or anything in the world can change Jesus Christ and I today. Understand? Or now what I mean is I really appreciate this lifetime that I have. And I want to be able to serve you first. I want to be able to understand that I have such a great life ahead of me that no amount of money in terms of plastic can never exchange my life. You understand? Or actually, you can make me do anything in this lifetime, but guess what? You'll never grab my eye away from me. My eye, I give it to you. I give you my eye too. Understand? But you can never take anything away from me in this lifetime. You understand? If you try to take away from me in this lifetime, you lose. I never lose. You understand? I mean, guess what? You must understand Jesus Christ's story. Jesus Christ gives you the last drop of everything. I mean, Jesus Christ gave you everything in this lifetime. You understand? And why is that? I mean, because of you. You understand? And that's your reason. And it's because of the word I. I mean, everybody is the word I. I mean, even Jesus Christ. You understand? So every single day, focus on understanding. You have to be strong. You have to be understanding that no matter how successful other people are, you have to understand yourself. You have to know your word I. You have to understand every single day you have to lift yourself and other people, and you have to grow them with information and more service like this is how you do it. You understand? Whereas now if you look at the news channels today, I mean, what are they giving you? I mean, they're giving you service in how? I mean, how in terms of information. Whereas in terms of information is how they give you the service. Whereas now if you have a service, I never want your stupid plumbing service. You understand? I want your information product. You understand? I want your information product about the plumbing service and never the stupid digging that you have to do physically in that. You understand? I never want to do physical work. I want to do wisdom work. I want to get the information about it. I love plumbing. I love carpentry. I love everything that's going on in a warehouse. I love everything that's going on in plastic and how you make it and everything about life. I love everything, you understand? Because why? I love it because it's the information product I look for. Whereas now, if you have to go to a warehouse to be a process worker and chuck meat onto the thing and you have to physically do it, Russian, that's what you hate to do. You understand? Russian, that's what everybody hates to do. I never do what I hate. You understand? You have to understand, you have to do what you love. I mean, now what you love is information products. And what you hate is the physical aspects of life. You understand? And now you have to understand, you have to love everything. You have to love everything in this lifetime because guess what? I mean, Jesus Christ has to walk this life too. You understand? I mean, you have to understand that Jesus was physically beaten to death. Understand? I mean, understand me. I mean, Jesus Christ came here to help you. And they whip him over 80 times. You understand? I mean, guess what? I mean, he never deserves it. You understand? I mean, you never deserve it either. You never deserve to be whipping other people physically. And you never deserve for other people to be whipping you physically. You understand? I mean, so if you never want to whip other people physically, you never deserve it either. I mean, Jesus Christ never wants to whip other people, but other people want to whip him. Which means that Jesus Christ never deserves it, but the other people deserve it. Whereas now, if you go whipping other people, you shall have other people whipping you. You understand? Whereas if you hit somebody physically, you shall also gain one in return. You understand? I mean, what you do to people physically is what happens to you physically as well. You understand? Whereas what you do to people in information products is what people give to you also. Understand? So what you do in life is your karma. And now if you want better karma, you have to give more information. I mean, now good karma is giving more information, but bad karma is doing physical work where you're trying to take away information. I mean, now if you're trying to take away information, you're a thief then. I mean, anybody who's a taker in life and just taking all the time and stealing is a murderer. And the people who steal away your bag and cut off your leg or cut off your arm because they want to keep it as a collection item. You understand? Because those are thieves and they're murderers and they're serial killers and they cheat behind your back and they stab you and also take away your woman and men from you. You understand? And they take away your life. And they take away, take away everything from you. And those are the Pharisees that put Jesus Christ on the cross. You understand? Alright, now, you must understand that anything that's never the Pharisees is Jesus Christ. I mean, now, Antichrist is Pharisees. I mean, Antichrist is the murderers and the cheaters and people who are blasphemy and hypocrites because they never talk positively. But if you're talking positively, you're Jesus Christ, and if you're Antichrist, you're then negative and talking negative. So my biological dad talks negative a lot. But then in between, he may give me a sound or something that he loves me here and there. So he has some Jesus Christ in him. But he's more going into the serial killer direction. You know what I'm saying? I can tell. Whereas now, either way, I mean, is that good or bad? I promise you, you have to understand it's both. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the side of good and evil. You understand? But guess what? I'm never afraid of anybody. You can never take anything away from me. Or else if you steal my phone today, and you try to take my wisdom away from me, you have to understand, you can never do it. I gave it to you. You understand? So when when they were trying to kill Jesus, I never tried to kill Jesus. I watched now before in life where it's all the moments, but if you understand how they tried to kill Jesus, is what I mean. You have to understand, it's more, Jesus gave them everything already. So how can you take from Jesus anything when Jesus has given you already? I mean, when I've given you this video already, why do you want to take it away from me? I've given it to you. I mean, do you understand? But the Pharisees never understand this. I mean, they just want to kill Jesus regardless of the video given. You understand? I mean, I gave you service, I'm helping you, but the Pharisees want to kill me. You understand? I mean, why? Because I understand, I say so. I never kill anybody. You understand? Whereas nobody wants to kill me. But I understand either way, that if you shall speak something like that, you then may attract it as well. You understand? Whereas now, how you speak is also a big part of your life. And now if you speak much better than yesterday, you always do much better than yesterday. Whereas now, if you're in a helicopter ride or anything like that, you must be better than yesterday. You must understand Kobe Bryant, for example. You have to understand that everything attracts everything. You have to understand he dies in a helicopter accident. Whereas now, you must understand, I never die in a helicopter accident because I say so. You understand? Whereas now, did Kobe Bryant say that? Or did he say that he's going to die in that? I'm pretty sure I never heard him say that. I mean, understand that if you're in a car accident today, it's because you're attracted. I mean, do you understand? So somehow, somebody else may attract it in your favor. I mean, do you understand? So Kobe Bryant may get on the helicopter, but somebody else may say that they're going to crash the helicopter, regardless of Kobe Bryant. I understand? So guess what? Whereas now, if the machinery, for some reason, has totally, or as if the machinery is in default, whereas now Jesus says that it can be that the machinery goes out of fault. You understand? But whose fault is it? I. You take responsibility for that. I was never there for Kobe Bryant, so that I can say for so that I can help him. Understand? I have to take responsibility for that. Understand? So either way, you have to understand that when you're growing, I was never there to help Avicii. Understand? I have to take responsibility for that. I have to say I was never there for him, so that I can increase I. Understand? I never do it for Avicii. I do it for I try to help him before it happens. Understand? So what happens is, understand, I have to take responsibility, but understand either way, I'm doing all I can. I mean, all you can do is the last drop that you give. You understand? You have to be giving all your life, because your life is the last drop of everything. You understand? Because when you understand that, you're going to be lifting people. You have to understand everything is coming and going, but you have to understand that every single day you're going to be positive, you're going to remember something, that there are people downstairs right now in the pub, and they're always there. I mean, from 3 o'clock to 12 o'clock at night. I mean, they're just, I mean, some of them are going, when they're crying. I mean, understand? They're always crying because there's so much in depression. I mean, understand? I mean, they're drinking alcohol and they're just wasting time. And now, if you waste time like drunks, you are also going to understand that suicide may be waiting for you. So I do have a free helpline, and you can talk to me at any time in my Instagram. And I provide a free service or a suicide line that you can talk to me for free. I want to help you. But nobody right now is messaging me on it. Understand? Because I love life. So either way, if you ever need help about anything, you can message my WhatsApp channel in my Instagram bio link. I help you. Whereas now, every single day, focus on understanding that no matter what, you can contact me. And you can understand every single day, I prefer it on my Nice Beautiful WhatsApp channel. Because I have a group. I understand either way. You must understand that when you're lifting people, you should also be promoting yourself. And that's the only way of life. I promise you, when you're promoting yourself every single day, focus on bettering people, and then you can understand how to go beyond. I mean, go above and beyond every single day and focus on understanding every single day that communicational skills is the way to a better way of life. And then you're understanding how to talk, you're looking at the camera lens, because when you look at the camera lens, you're never confusing yourself about anything. You're just looking at your words. But I love my image, but I can watch my image after this video. I'll watch it really quickly. I'll watch my image of 2 hours or whatever in less than 10 seconds. I just scroll through the image very quickly with a video. You understand? So that's how I watch my videos. I repeat my information like that very quickly, but then I understand I do it differently all the time. You understand? So every single time I make a video is a different video and a different Danny Milivojevic, because it's a much more of an improving type Danny Milivojevic that is better than yesterday all the time. So every time you see me in a different video, I'm better than yesterday.